take you through elementary programming principles. That is Form 3 topic, but the subtopic is control structures. When you talk about control structures, these are statements that are put in place in a program or in the code to make sure that the code works as it is supposed to. Therefore, it tries to eradicate a lot of repetitions or to curb repetition or even to make things easier. Therefore, today I'll basically handle selection. Under selection, we have if then, we have if then else, we have nested if, and then we have case select. Therefore, this one is almost the same thing. The ifs is the same thing, only that sometimes you include else if conditions are more than 2. Then if conditions are now more than, if there are so many, now you are forced to use nested if or case select. Therefore, I'll take you through that one. Then later on, we shall look at iteration. Iteration is also called looping. Looping is also called looping that way, or repetition. Therefore, I'll take you through while loop. Then I'll take you how repeat until works, and also how for loop works, and that is within what our syllabus covers, that is using Microsoft Access. Therefore, you can go to the practical bit. We first of all create a form, a blank form, that is form in design view. Now once you create a form in design view, you then draw a button, a command button, but I opt to use toggle button because toggle button will not initialize a VBA code, but a command button will actually come attached with a VBA code, which might be disturbing. Therefore, we shall create a button, but we can start by saving our form as control structures. Control structures. Then we start by checking on the selection. Like now, we may have this button. We can call it if then control structure. Therefore, this one will actually be dealing with if then. Then you can go ahead and format that one, that button that way. Therefore, this is our if then. Now, once you have this button, we right click, then we go to properties. Now, once we go to the property sheet, we go to event, then we go to event on click, and then we select that is on click, we select event procedure, then click the 3 dots at the end. Now this is the code window. This is where we are supposed to type our code. Therefore, if we have a condition that marks if somebody scores 50%, then that is a pass. That is one condition, and therefore we can just use the if then, and therefore we can start by writing a comment. A comment is an executable statement that makes sure that you understand what is being written in the code, but actually it will not be executed or shown when the program is executing. Therefore, we can just write a comment that we are running if then. That way, you can see it turns green. That is to tell you it will not be executed. And therefore, we start by declaring whatever we want to capture. For example, we want to capture marks. Therefore, dim marks as integer. Integer is a number. Integer. That way. Then we capture our mark. Therefore, our marks equals to value, that is to convert number to that is anything, even if it is text, right? It will be converted to a number. Therefore, input box. Then this is a function to capture marks. Then enter marks that way. Then we cross that. Then after capturing the marks, we come here and write our if statement, that if marks is greater than 50, then we shall give a message, msg box. That's a function to give message. Then the pass mark attained, that way. Then end if. You have to end if, because it is one if, we end if one, and therefore from there we just save this one, and once we save, we can go and execute that one by crossing this. Then we go to home, then run our form, and therefore in case there is a mistake like this one, we just go and check input box. We skipped T, therefore that was a syntax error. It's also good that we have reminded ourselves on the errors. Therefore that was a syntax error, and therefore from here I can press F5, then click. Now you see we have executed this one. Therefore it will ask for us enter mark, and therefore for example I enter 56, then I click on OK. Therefore you see the pass mark attained. Therefore that's how we use if then. Then we can proceed to the next one. Right click, go to design view, then we can draw another toggle button. Now this time around we shall run about if then else. Now this is when now we have more than two, that is more than actually one condition. Therefore we can just format that one, then borrowed it and give it a different color for that matter. Then you right click, you go to properties, then on click event, on click you select event procedure, then go to the code window. Now this time around we write our comment, this that we are running about if then else, that way. And therefore we start by declaring for example, we can use age, dim age as integer. It's just like dim age as a number, to accept a number. Then we can capture age equals to value input box, then enter your age, that way. Then you cross the two brackets. You are crossing this first bracket and the second one, that's why you have to. Then you come and write a statement if age is greater or equal to 18, then message box, give a message that you are a grown up. Now if that condition is not met, what message do we get? Else msg box you are under 18, then and if, that way. Therefore you can see now we have included else in our statement because conditions are more than we have more than one condition to be captured, and therefore after doing that you close the code window, go home, and first of all you save this, then run. Therefore you can see enter your age, and therefore my age is 16. Therefore you are under 18. Therefore we can capture again 56. You are a grown-up. Very good. Therefore, that's how the if, then, else works. Therefore, I can proceed to the next one, and we can still go and draw. Therefore, we can draw the other one. The other one is nested if. Now, this is used when you have more than. That is when you have more than. That is if when you have more than many. Actually, let's say when you have many conditions. That makes sense. Therefore, let's look at nested if. Now, nested if means you are using many ifs, and that's why we are actually calling it nested if, because you are using many ifs. Therefore, nested if is not so much different from what we are doing, only that you use many else. Therefore, you can just go to this part here, then you can hit that button, then go to our code, and therefore we can start by writing our comment. We are learning about nested if. That's many ifs. That way, and therefore we can start by declaring something like age again. That is, no, let's use max. Dmax as integer. That way, then we capture the max. Max equals to var input box. Then we can capture our max. Enter any mark between 0 to 100. That way. Then we come to this point and say if max is greater or equal to, that is, if it's greater or equal to 80, then we give a message box grade is A, that way. Else if max is greater or equal to 60, then MSG box grade is B. Grade is B. Else if max is greater or equal to 50, then MSG box grade is C. Else MSG box take a supplementary. That way, then and if. Now let's see what we have so far with that one. We save that, then close the code window. Then go and see. Therefore, enter the mark 42. Therefore, take a supplementary. Then we can try again. We take something like 56. grade is C. Take another one, take 85, grade is A. Take something like 45, take a supplementary. Therefore, you can see the difference between the three ifs, that is if then else, and nested if. Therefore, we can proceed to the next one. The next one is go to design view. The next one is case select. Therefore, you can also talk of case select, so that we can actually finish on the types of that is the examples of selection. That is, this is now selection category of selection. You can just give it a good look there. We are in selection here, so that we can now go again and look at the loops. That way. Therefore, we are in the selection. Therefore, we can add our next selection example, that is case select. Now, case select, we just go again to design. Then we take this one. Then we can now write case select. Case select. Now, case select is the simplest. If you can ask me, among these ones, case select should be the simplest. Therefore, to tackle case select, it is not so much difference from the others. Therefore, right click again, go to properties, then on click here, then you click this select. Remember, you can get these codes on my website. I will post the link down there. You can download these codes there, and also the database that I have used. Therefore, for case select, I will start by writing the comment that we are running about case select. Now, case select, we have agreed it's the simplest. Therefore, what you need to know is the keywords to use. Therefore, first of all, you shall dim. Dim is to declare what you are doing. Therefore, you shall dim max as integer. Dim max as integer should turn blue. Then from there, we shall capture the max again, just like we have done to the others. Max equals to input box. We have skipped var to make sure it is value, it is number. Therefore, input box, enter any mark between 0 to 99. That way, there is somewhere we have, or we haven't put crossing quotation mark. Therefore, compiler reports we have an error. Therefore, then from there we declare the select, that is case select statement. Therefore, we start by writing select case. Now, what we have declared max. Therefore, then case is, if case is greater or equal to 80, then what do we get? Then we get a message box that you have an A, plane. Then we go on and write that now case that is case 60 to case 70. Then MSG box, you have a B print. Now we use the universal system. Then case 50 now to 59. Then what is case this to 59? To 59 that way. MSG box. You have a C print. You have a C print. Therefore, from there we can have else case. Okay, then case else MSG box. Take as supplementary. Then we end case by end select. Therefore, that's how case command is written. Therefore, you can just go to save. Now, once you save, you run that one. See how it happens. Therefore, when I click case, like that, you see that enter mark. Therefore, if I enter 56, therefore you have a C plane. Then you can enter something like 23. Yeah, take a supplementary. Then we can test 68. You have a B plane. Therefore, that's how the selection works. We have looked at if then control structure, nested if then else, and case select. Therefore, we can now proceed to the grouping. We look at how grouping also works. Therefore, we can draw grouping. We can look at grouping. We edit that one to make it grouping. Therefore, let's look at grouping. Now, grouping, we shall look at repeat until, while loop, and we shall also look at the for loop. Therefore, we can start by looking at the for loop. That is for loop. Go to design, then we draw a toggle button. Remember, I'm using toggle button because it doesn't have attached code, which will actually confuse you. Now, for this one is for loop in access, and therefore the for loop will look like this. You save, you right click, go to properties, then on click we are using event on click. Then we can start by, can now take this one up here, can write our code up here. Therefore, we want to start by commenting that we are doing for loop. Now, when we are doing for loop, it actually helps you to avoid a lot of unnecessary repetition, and therefore we shall use days of the week. Like for example, that is let's use months, because they actually make us more to understand, because there are many. Therefore, we can start by declaring dim the month. Then we shall come down here and say dim months, now in plural, dim months as collection. Then we go ahead and then say set months equals to new collection. Then we can have months dot add, then you add the month, January. Then you now copy this. There is no need of rewriting. Copy, then paste. We change this one to February. Then paste again. Control V. Change this one to March. Paste again. Change this one to April. Then you can copy this from April downward. Again, now we know this is May. This is June. This is July. August. Again, you paste. This is September. This is October. Then this is November. Then December. Then we have December. Then after doing that, we now write our for loop here, that for each month in months now, for each month in months, as we have declared there, MSG box, that is a function month. Then next month, so that now when you reach January, it goes to the next month by clicking on next. Then set months equals to nothing. When it reaches the end, then nothing will be displayed. Therefore, remember, you can get this code and this database the way it is for free on my website. Just open my website, then go to other downloads. You'll be in a position to get it. Therefore, this is how that code looks like. That is for the for loop, and therefore we can try to see what we have. After writing that, you can close now this, then save, go home, then run. Therefore, you can see on clicking the first one, it brings January. Next, it now runs to the next March, April, that way until when it reaches December, it executes, because you have written that when you reach December, display nothing. Then from there, we can go ahead and look at our next looping. Our next loop is where we can look at do until, that is repeat until, but in Microsoft Access we shall use do until. Instead of the word repeat, we shall use the word do, and therefore you can just write do until. Now do until is just the same as repeat until, and therefore you can just go and do that way. Then just like we are doing to the others, right click, go to properties, then on event on click, we are using on click, then you click the 3 dots. Now once you click on the 3 dots, you are where to go. You can now go to our code. We start by commenting that we are doing do until or repeat until. Then I shall just write a simple code whereby if a certain number entered is equals to a certain constant, like we can say A equals to 10, then we shall check a condition whereby when A is greater than 15, what should happen? And therefore we can declare our integer as A and say A our x, the one we are used to, x equals to 10. Then do until x is greater than 15. Therefore, you'll expect 11, because 11 is actually will be an increment of 1 from 10 up to 15, where 15 is. Therefore, let's look at that. Therefore, do until x is equals to 15, and this condition is actually false. Therefore, we can mark this and say this condition is false. It is actually false according to that one, and therefore our x equals to x plus 1. We want an increment of 1, and therefore then we get a message box. The values of x are, then usually use ampersand x, and then from there it will loop. You just include the word loop for it to go to the next line. Therefore, we are checking this condition, which is actually false according to that statement. Let's see what we have. Therefore, we can just save, then run, then close this one, then save, go home, run. Therefore, you see now the value x is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Then it terminates from that one because the condition is actually false. Therefore, let's try to look when the condition is true on the same, but this time around the condition is true. Therefore, we shall rewrite the code. We just go to view, then our code here will actually change. Therefore, our code will be, remember we are doing this do that is until. Therefore, we shall just write that x equals to 10. Then do, if x is 10, do x equals to x plus 1. We are incrementing with 1. And then we shall get a message box. X is, then we give ampersand x. That is the output statement. Then from there it will loop until when. Then we give the condition loop until x is less than 15. For example, this condition is true. Therefore, let's see what will happen. Loop until that. Therefore, this is how you write the loop. Remember to get these codes and the database on my website. Then we save this. Then let's see what happens. What do we expect? Therefore, you expect 11 to get 11 as the answer. And therefore, you get 11. Therefore, when you click, you just get 11 because the condition is actually true. And therefore, you expect to get 11 as the answer. Therefore, you can still get this database and the codes on my website for practice purposes. Therefore, you can go ahead and look at the while loop. Therefore, you can go and get the while loop. Now, you shall test the same condition using do while. The same we have used to see whether I can get 11 as the answer for that condition, where our x equals to 10, and we want to loop until that one actually exits. Therefore, go and check this. Go to this button here, draw. Then this time around is we are actually doing the while loop, do while. Therefore, this is do while, and therefore do while goes like we are going to see. Therefore, just do as we are doing to the others. Right click, properties, then go to event on click. Then you hit this button. Then we can zoom and see what we have. Therefore, start by comment, we are doing while loop. Therefore, these statements will also help you when viewing this code. You know which code is doing what. And therefore, we just write do while. Do while you give the condition. Our x is less than 5. That way. Then our x should be x plus 1. Then what will you get as output? MSG box. You just say the value of x is, then you usually write an ampersand and that variable x that way. Then after that it should loop. Now the loop here, the word loop is actually the one that is actually instructing the compiler that after this condition is met, then you go to the next condition. Therefore, what do you expect? Do while. Therefore, where x is less than 5. Like for example, if you start from 0, then it will be 0 plus 1. You get 1. Then it becomes 1. It was 1 plus 1, 2. 2 plus that way until now we get 4 as the last value. But it should not give 4, it should give 5, because it will be 4 plus 1, 5, and then should terminate. Therefore, let's see what we actually are supposed to get. Therefore, you can cross this, then save and run, then click. Therefore, you can see our first value is 1. Then should give 2 until 5, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, it should terminate because actually the condition is less than 5 according to that, but it is 4 is less than 5, but the increment is 4 plus 1. Therefore, the last value there for that matter will be actually 5. Therefore, that's how we look at the control structures. And as you have seen, we have gone through the required control structures in our syllabus, that is Kenya National Examination syllabus. You're supposed to cover if then, nested if then else, case select. Then we need to cover for loop. We need to cover do until or repeat until, then the while loops. Therefore, thank you very much for watching. Remember to subscribe if you have not subscribed. Like, if you have a question, you can really post on my description. Therefore, again,